Okay. Sure. Let me just do the rabbits because well, I gotta put the rabbits somewhere. Have some fun with it. Something different. Alien rabbit. Yeah, maybe do an alien cat. Oh, I got cats here. Of course, when I'm done with this and Priscilla comes up and starts begging for food, like I'm tired out, it's like, oh man, really? And they're not just begging, they're like forcing. There's no end to it. Yeah, you can do whatever you can to stop them from doing that. Just you don't get so far. I can't, like you can put them in timeout or something. It doesn't work that way. Of course, they go through a lot here anyway. So anyway, oh, there she is right now. Well, she's off camera, but she's over here. She just showed up. Hi, Priscilla. I don't know if I can grab her. There she is. Okay, that's it. She doesn't show up on anyway. So yeah, the title of this is Third Dimension Explained. That's not really what this is about, but I don't know how to work. I'm too tired to come up with a title, so I'll just call it that. But it's supposed to be Third Dimension Explained, sort of, but it's not. Anyway, it has to do with the energy of the planet. You know, it's just it's muck. It's murky, depending on who you're connecting to. Some just don't want to see it live in delusional la la land. You know, or they're swimming with, dolphins stuff within delusional la la land. At least some groups are. Without naming names, the disinfo agents are doing it. I guess we got nothing else going on there, right? Probably someone probably already explained it this way, but I don't know. Maybe well, some of us can feel the frequencies here are not exactly the most helpful energies. So kind of going into, like, we feel the pressure here, right? Some do. You know, agendas, whatever, but it has to do with the energy of the people. Obviously, not everybody. This doesn't apply to everybody. This applies to the humans that are here that are not that strong, that have been going from. I mean, it's one thing to go from one failure of life to another. That's one thing. But I've been talking about this before. But those that are too afraid to take a risk or do something, like they're not growing, not always trying, like they give up. Now you're going to have incarnations of giving up, and that's one thing. There's actually, I think there's also like a leeway there, like that's okay type of vibe. It's just because it's part of the learning process. But then it comes to a level like, okay, you've been here long enough, and you continue to just live a bland existence when you don't have to do that. No, you just got to go by your instincts, and are you following the path they feel like, and some go against that and just they have. That's why they have so many have so much regret. So basically, to be blunt about it, so we're feeling the energies of those that are basically losers, basically, they don't put any effort into themselves at all. So that don't, there's different ways of looking at it, but there's just don't just and there's it's like being a loser is a cool thing. To be, just to be put out front, just not to be behind the bush on it. And so we have this loser energy here. Of course, it's the victim energy too, blaming the reptilians, blaming this, and there may be some truth to some of that to some level, but still, you still take the manipulation from a reptilian being and whatever, make it worse or whatever it is, weaponize it from Nordics, whatever. You can blame the aliens all day long, and there might be there's probably some, who knows, it doesn't matter. Either way, it comes down to the human in the long run. They accepted the manipulation, went through it, now it's your problem. So we have this loser frequency on this planet, like I say, being a loser is cool. Of course, when you say that, then they call you negative and all of that, but when you look at it, it's like you hear this story about living to your highest good, right? Well, it's hard to do that when there's so many here that are not doing anything with their lives, and you have centuries, thousands of years of this stuff all piled in here, and even the current society, most aren't doing. I mean, I got an uncle that ain't doing shit, but he's successful, but he ain't doing shit with his life. It's like a successful loser, basically. Without going through my whole family line of losers. I'm not going to go there. I could. But like my uncle's a good example. He makes decent money, retire now, and just a successful loser, basically. Doing shit. Could have come up with some kind of business or something. Not to say you lose everything, but at least try to do something. And that's the thing. So, and this is I had to clear my throat because of that. Gee, I wonder why. Pushback, huh? The truth hurts. Now realize this doesn't apply to everybody. Everyone has their own growth and all, but there is a lot of loser energy here, if you haven't noticed. I mean, like I said, not to just, might as well just say what X's and X's, right? And society is good at just justifying its patheticness, right? And of course, as a parent, or I'm not a parent, but those that are parents don't want their kids to fall into that, and do whatever they can for their kids not to fall into that timeline, which can easily happen. And yeah, got attacks, not from a kid, but from personal attacks. I'm talking about the Archon stuff. Just like a person that they're happy with being a loser, and just and you're not alone. There's plenty of you out there. And they live these like stalled incarnations. But the other thing is, like an Archon being, or even a Zeus being, or some kind of anything, can be like take control of that person. That's the loser, like become that person's god. It's different ways of looking at it, but even like Muhammad, there's different versions of that. That can be weaponized. Even Yeshua can be weaponized also. Like you see, how many people out there, like with Yeshua or Jesus, whatever you want to call him, like just care about Jesus, love Jesus, this and that. A lot of them aren't doing shit with their lives. Now, some of them can. Like some of them are not there yet, and it's different. But then there's others that can do something, don't do shit, and just make like a mountain of excuses just to be a lazy piece of shit, basically. Basically be a loser. So, that's, I've been seeing more of this, and like I said, it's cool to go nowhere in life, right? And so, those that are trying to get through this, You keep trying, but you get tired of trying. And that's the thing. There's a lot of pushback, even from those that are here, are trying to push back from. Yeah, even that. I got attacks on that crap from that Archon experience. Like, just jealousy and all that. It's like, well, jealous of what exactly? But trying to do something different. So there is pushback, but the idea is to just keep pushing forward, whatever you feel like you need to do, whatever it is. It can be spiritually, whatever it is. Because there is forces here, obviously. We want to keep this society in a dormant, dead state. Because society, a good portion of the society is checked out mentally due to it just gave up. Either it's not strong enough, it's extremely weak, but basically it's like a world of failures, basically. When it comes down to it, it's not like I say it's not everybody, but there's a lot of it here. And like I say, you can blame the devil, you can blame whoever the hell they want. They're gonna blame all, like I say, amount of excuses. That's what creates the whole NPC stuff. It creates this NPC timeline, and then they easily get hijacked because they're not doing anything with themselves. So they got super extremely lazy, and then they get taken over. So in this world, it can burn you out. It's difficult. Not everyone has to be the strongest, but when you have a majority that give up on themselves, of course, yes, you're raising kids and all that, but society is also designed to just be a victim too. So to be a mountain of excuses, to be materialistic. Be materialistic instead of creative and build yourself. Of course, like when you try to build like a business and you get failure after failure, yeah, that's rough and get into debt and all that, but this, it's not for everybody, but there's some things out there to do something different. The idea is to follow your, to find, if you don't know, the idea is to explore it. And you'll figure out eventually. Some just don't even care and just get high and play video games and sit there as dead. They sit there and dead inside. So like I say, you have like this mountain of loser energy here. And you're here to bring some kind of enlightenment. And even some of these channelers bring out the same message every fucking day. You're the best thing. You're this. You're that. It's like, okay, whatever. Yeah, that's for those that the NPCs have been completely shut off from their higher consciousness, not doing anything with their lives. And so, they're just not always trying to. But yeah, you're going to run into failure after failure after failure after failure. And that's what sucks about it. And it does get old. It gets, that's the thing. It's like it's hard to plow through this because when you hit nothing but pushback, like here I'm doing videos here and they're getting pushback. I think my numbers are less than when I started. But either way, just keep me out. I don't think about that anyway. I just been noticing it. I'm not more focusing on it. But that's it just shows the energy of humanity is just not there to really explore itself. Not interested at all. Just gives a fuck. Just go be a robot. So it's now where does this all head into? Of course, to go back to you keep pushing forward and you can feel the pushback. If it's at your own job, you feel pushback from higher ups, which is really pathetic on their end. But it just shows that the energy, and they can be successful too, I guess, if they call that success. If they're not doing anything with themselves, maybe financially successful, but that's about where it ends because they're not really doing anything. It just shows how dormant souls have become here. But the idea is to keep pushing forward as hard as it is to accomplish what you feel like you need. Feel like it's worthwhile. But man, there's so much pushback here. It's unbelievable. Yeah, it's just but yeah, it's it has to come down to this. Like you say, it comes down to Atlantean energies. It comes, like the fall of that, and like they were successful, and then they became a bunch of losers. If you want to look at that, because it fell. Well, Myriad went the same way. It just became one giant size failure. Now, like I say, it's like we're kind of built to fail, but you just got to keep running through one failure to one failure to eventually get to something of success. So whatever that success might be, it's some kind of goal. Even it might be a relationship goal or a personal goal, whatever it is. Yeah, you're gonna get. Yeah, it's just, if more people here were wanting to do more risky, and not worry so much, not give up so easily. Not, I mean, you can give up, but not completely. Like, you give up, give yourself some time to rest, and then go back to fighting. That's one thing. But some just give up and just go dormant and just say, I'm happy, whatever the fuck that means. It's like you're a flat tire going nowhere, basically. Yeah, and then some other entities come in and take their energy, take control over them, because they don't want to try, so they sell themselves out. And, it just makes them, they just dig themselves a deeper hole. But on the outside, they're all smiles, everyone's friendly. Oh, such a nice person. But inside, they're dead inside. So it's like, it's one thing you're just discovering yourself still, trying to figure this all out. That's different. But when you have, like, you're at the level where you can move forward and then you don't, which is a good portion of society, there's just, just because you can throw your life away doesn't mean that's a good idea. That's how my uncle does it. He's successful financially and just laying on his ass and doing what the fuck it is. I don't know ways. I stay the hell away from those people, but it's like, yeah, think about that. You retire and you think you know everything. You're just like a failed human. I think you failed. He's like a father figure and just an egotistical psycho, trying to sabotage and everything. When I'm a kid, you have a kid, and you sabotage the kid. Like, you want them to fail. That's disgusting. And that's a fucking adult doing that. And this is like a kid. And how many kids have been through that? Like, that's talk about signs of a freaking loser. But around other people, it's all smiles, all friendliness, kissing everyone's ass. It's so gross. It's like a narcissistic psychotic. So, but the universe sees that, the spirit realm sees that. They're not blind eye on that. But either way, it's just not to judge yourself or anything like that. The idea is to, but yeah, as some of us say, it's hard, moving forward and just failing. Fucking sucks. But do you feel like you have to keep, what else are you going to do with yourself? Sit around, do nothing, complain about it, or do something? Action is everything. And most of society is sitting around cool, getting drunk, getting high on mushrooms, whatever the fuck it is, getting high, getting possessed by a demon. And, it's all about kissing everyone's ass, it's all smiles, and it's all empty, traveling everywhere. You only have so many places you could travel. How many times can you run instead of fixing your shop, you're healing yourself, or working with them, whatever? So, but it's really just, yeah, it's like, but life is kind of built to fail, but the idea is not to give up. That's difficult as fucking is. It's like I said, the energy here is doing everything it can to make you want to just quit and just shut it off, get the hell off the planet, and so on. It's doing everything. I mean, some need to go through that, and that's true, but, well, it all depends. That's personal response. That's personal self. Whoever needs, that's personal choices there, but trying, like, if you're like an artist or anything, doesn't mean it's art. It depends on anything. Just even spirituality can be a lot of pushback on that too. So it's just not giving up. Yes, maybe take a break here and there. Yes, keep your sanity. That's even possible. But it's like, yeah, but we're in a planet, a mountain of losers. Like I say, not everybody, but it's a good portion of it. They're just not strong enough, too weak. And like even astrally, yeah, some of them getting attacked because they're not doing anything with themselves. So for some reason you shouldn't be doing anything with yourself. It's very bizarre there, but okay. And of course society, you go around kissing everybody's ass and whatever. It's like, bragging and crap. It's like, it's, you can do less of that and more action, where you don't have to brag and just action is, because some brag about the places they eat and everything, and look, some that's, like I say, some are just NPCs, and that's just the way it is. But like I said, for those that really want to move forward, it's not as easy as it sounds. And some of you know that. If you feel like you just gotta follow what you feel is right through your instincts, and just never give up. As easy as, well, like I say, what else you have to do, right? So it's just, but like I say, when we look at society and those that are accepted by society, yada yada yada, even if they're poor or whatever, a lot of them are not doing shit with their lives. They're just, sometimes some are here to be social. Not everyone's here to do any. Well, it all depends. But you guys gotta follow what's best for you internally, like where you feel like your heart is. Yeah, do Akashic research, or just what does he call it, the bloodline research, or what do they call it? I forget, the DNA stuff that's out there. Whatever. Yeah, if you, other people might call it crazy, but just, yeah, do it. Yeah, that's the other thing. It's, well, like this kind of remind me of, like, because sometimes people get successful very quickly, but it's kind of like the invention of the car. Like, when you it comes to mind. It's like, think about it. Like, everything's been horse and carriage, right? And now someone comes up with a car. It's like the AI stuff that's happening right now. It's like, it sounds crazy. It's like a car. It's like, what the fuck is that? Wheels? There's no horse there. What the hell is that thing? It's like a creature, right? And I imagine I think some people, when they even bought a car, I think I had a relative somewhere, I think I heard that bought a car in their, like in the 20s or something, and hid it in the garage because of all the pushback. You can say AI is kind of like that. And now everybody has a car. Of course they did now. You can't live without, at least in the U.S., you can't live without a car usually. So it's, yeah, that does say you have huge success, or any, I don't know, fuck, the success part's kind of weird. It's just, that's not clear. But either way, the idea is to follow your heart and keep going forward, no matter what other people say. And it could be some, it can take years, it can take 10 years, it can take, who the fuck knows. Yeah, it's difficult. But it just shows you the energy of how many have given up. And that's what you're pushing against. The ones that give up, some of them push against you for selfish reasons. And that does not do them good karmic-wise at all. Like, okay, they're not doing anything with it. They're going to be a freaking loser, friendly to everybody, have a relationship, and live an NPC cardboard existence. Yeah, just another copy-paste. Who gives a shit, right? If we're all dead, nobody's going to give a damn. Not to say anybody gives a shit now, but when we're dead, they're really not going to give a damn. So, unless they're a family member or something. But, the idea is to, like, leave your, you can say leave your mark on the world. You don't have to look at it that way. Just do it for yourself. It doesn't have to be remembered by anybody. It's just that you did it for you. And if anyone remembers it or not, who cares, really? What matters, you did it for yourself, because it makes you very unique. And you're not a copy carbon like a good portion of society is. They're laughing at the same jokes and whatever it is, just going, it's living kind of a copy paste. Even the mentality is very copy paste. So, but if you do something on your own and you push back, if you feel like you got to do it, even if everybody looks like you're nuts. Now, businesses, like, those are rough too. It's like you can fail with that, and then you just maybe find some other. Of course, you have the internet; it's a little bit easier, cheaper, but it doesn't mean that always will work either. But you just have to keep trying. It sucks. There's no answer. I don't got no answers, but like, it's funny. I have a friend that, or used to, when I was a kid, his dad was a school bus driver, and loser on all levels. And he had the idea to open up a restaurant. I think he even had the funds, like a small one, but just shot it down. And just sitting at home being a freaking loser. At least it's something. I mean, if it was a restaurant, at least it. I imagine it wouldn't have failed, but when you see me, well, then again, he's a piece of shit, so who knows? Control freaks, yeah, piece of garbage. So yeah, that's yeah, souls like that, just like self-sabotage constantly. I don't know. But yeah, life has some kind of risk connected to it, and somehow the universe will help in some ways. But yeah, our minds, of course, drive ourselves. It can help us, but also hurt us. Of course, we have emotions and everything. The other thing is we feel the emotions of other people and their fear. Like relationship wise, like you want to grow that way, but you feel the fear from everyone else. It's like they just, like I said, they shut down, like potential relationship, shut down, just go be an NPC and just control somebody or be a piece of shit. It's like, so you have all this potential, you throw it away. It's like, that's what makes it so difficult being here. It's just so many that give up on themselves. Yeah, some that just like being in their. One thing, I guess you can say, with those that like to be in their misery, I don't know what those are. Well, if they're not trying to attack you and take your ass down, they just want to go be miserable somewhere, that's on them, right? I got something there, jeez. Somebody didn't like that one. Yeah. Yeah. But at least they're not attacking you energetically, right? But yeah, that's another, yeah. But then again, they don't really want to heal either, right? They want to cry about some old relationship from like 10 years ago, whatever the fuck it was. Have a pity party forever. And, like, they might see you as a threat when you're not a threat at all, but it's on their own freaking fear. Yeah, it just gets old, doesn't it? It gets freaking old here. It's like, it is kind of like a planet of losers, technically. Like I said, I'm not putting on everybody. It's out there, and this is what we're up against. Because I want to, I don't know, do something worthwhile. Let's put it that way. So, yeah, I'll see what, I don't know, get some clarity out there. See where this all heads into. So, all right, we'll leave it at that. That's all I got. So.